Thank you for jumping on, Brian. I got one of my clients, Brian, here with me. I recently helped him out with the sale of his home over in Chesapeake. I truly appreciate you jumping on this, and yeah, if you could, thank you again. So, Brian, I know we met when you were actually selling on your own.
Right.
So if you could give me a good idea of, what your previous experiences were when, buying and selling through a realtor, because I know this wasn't your first.
No, and we've done a couple, but it's been at least 20 years since we
Oh,
bought
wow. Okay.
another home. And so obviously technology's changed a lot, and we were, and you use technology, leverage it to your advantage, obviously, and that helped us out a lot. We were much more informed and involved in the process, I think, because of that.
Yeah.
And you're able to leverage that to your advantage, my advantage, and whoever else, any of your clients. So that was great. We liked that.
Do you recall what your experience was like 20 years ago? Because I know real estate was very different back then. Like I remember, I'm not, so 2000, I don't know if they had buyer's agents at the time in Virginia, actually.
Yeah, I don't think they did. But even going back in the early 90s, we didn't even have, the internet didn't even exist, basically. And, you had to get in a car and go with an agent and look at properties.
They had a list of homes, right? And paper.
Yeah. It would take all day.
Yeah.
Now you can sit on the web and browse through various things, and you can see and eliminate a lot.
Yeah. It's so cool how much things have changed, because I speak to realtors, that's worked back in the days when they had literally a list of papers of homes that were on the market, that went under contract, and nothing was on the internet. Now you can literally put your home up for sale on your own, or whatever the case might be, right?
Yep.
And being able to view properties and know it went under contract, not having to go out there and all that. Do you remember what your experience was like at 2000 when you purchased or sell with an agent?
Yeah, it was all day events, because we were coming from overseas, and
okay.
We didn't have a house. We didn't have anything. We weren't just going from one house to another. We were going from an overseas location to Virginia, and it was brutal.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And when you were trying to sell on your own, can you give me a little bit better idea of like why you guys decided to try to sell on your own, and like how the experience was?
Well, primarily to save on the some of the commission, and plus, besides that, it was a seller's market.
Yeah.
Coming into, it was February, coming into spring.
Yeah.
And so we figured, we're just going to plant the sign in the front yard, do a FSBO, and everybody told us it'll be gone in a week.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, so everybody's telling us to go ahead and do that, and so we went ahead and did that. The problem was, and maybe it would have worked, but then we had COVID-19 hit, and we immediately changed direction. We knew that wasn't going to, we were going to be up against some outside forces that just weren't going to allow us to sell it in the time frame we were looking at.
Yeah, COVID-19's definitely impacted a lot of markets, and it's so strange the way it's impacting it right now, because there's like very little inventory. I don't know, maybe it has to do with people not wanting to get people inside the homes, right? But what's going on is a lot of these homes are selling so fast because there's such little inventory.
Right.
Like I was reading something on MLS the other day. It's down like 13% or something like that from last year, inventory wise. But yeah, and when you guys did have for sale by ownage, were you guys getting traffic in there? I remember you were getting a good amount of showings, right?
Yeah, we were getting word of mouth in the neighborhood. We had 4 or 5 people come in on their own, just from a referral from the neighborhood. And but nobody was. It was early. It was February, late February, and so people were not in a big hurry, and they were playing the interest rate game, thinking interest rates would keep coming down, which they did. Yeah. But nobody anticipated the COVID-19.
Yeah, and you at that time going as a for sale by owner, do you remember getting bombarded by realtors?
Oh yeah,
That's the one thing that gets brought up all the time. Is
yeah.
literally a lot of people they don't anticipate the realtor phone, how many phone calls they get from the realtors. And yeah, you want to put your input on that? Oh, I think you're lagging right now, Brian. 1 second. We lost Brian for a second. I hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let's see. All right, we lost Brian for a second. He's coming back on right now. That's the Outer Banks internet. There we go. You're reconnected.
Yeah,
That's
there we
that's
go.
that's the Outer Banks internet, huh?
Yeah, it happens. It happens more frequently than I would like, but
Oh yeah, that's unfortunate.
well, I don't know. They've got one service down here and everybody's on it. So
Gotcha. Well, yeah, we were saying, did you expect to get blown up by realtors when you went for sale by owner?
no, like I was saying before, my phone was ringing off the hook, and I was thinking, they don't tell you right away that they're an agent. They want to list your property, so you're engaging with them as if they're a potential buyer, and they've got 50 questions, and it's a complete waste of time because all they want to do is list your property.
Yeah.
And,
It's unfortunate. So that's actually why my approach is a little different. I don't know if you remember our initial phone call. I called up, just being very upfront if you guys are open to a backup plan down the road if things don't work out.
yep.
Essentially, that's what it came down to, right? Can you give me a little idea of what happened next? What made you guys decide to try out my services versus other realtors? Or even having that face to face, because I don't think you guys met with many realtors face to face, right?
No, we interviewed 3 people, including yourself, and it was I don't know. We knew as soon as you came in. I think you were the third, and you came in, and Sally said right away that she liked you right away, and it was different.
Sally.
It was a different. It was a whole different approach. Your knowledge, your personality, the easygoing, straightforward, telling us what we can expect and what some of the landmines might be. You could tell right away that this was a full-time business for you and both feet in. Some of the 2 of the other people, I think it was a part-time gig. And so I don't know, and it came across that way. So
Yeah.
we were sold right away. We said, okay, we're just going to go with Tane.
Yeah, you can. A lot of people tell me that too. You can kind of sense the difference between full-time and part-time agent,
Yep.
depending on the approach or whatnot that they take.
Right.
And what did you guys like and appreciate most, like while working with me? Because I know we went through some hurdles together. It definitely wasn't as expected. For those of you that I haven't brought, for those of you that aren't aware, but essentially what happened was we had Brian's property up for sale, and the value was definitely there for it. There were comps there for it, and the appraisal unfortunately came in short. And it was through Navy Federal at the time, which it was the worst Navy Federal experience I've had my entire life. And yeah, it just came in short, and they essentially were very unresponsive, and we ended up having to. I forced the buyers to switch lenders to my lenders to make the deal work because we knew the value was there. So
Yeah.
Can you give me a little insight of how that experience was? Because I know, real estate can be really super simple and easy, but when you run into problems like this is where I love to really show, outshine and show my true services, because I go above and beyond when things aren't going right for my clients.
Right. I totally agree with that. And so you had told us right away, you've got to sell your property 3 times. You need to sell to the buyer, then you've got the inspections, and then you get the appraisal. So it's got to sell all 3 times. And each, you get the buyer, the inspection. Ours, the buyer, we had 2 buyers right away, and then the inspections, the termite and the home inspection, no problem whatsoever. And then the appraisal. And that was so subjective. That's what I think it's a scam, some of these appraisals, but 3 different properties in the neighborhood, all about the same square footage,
Yep.
all in this good condition.
Yep.
3 different appraisers and 3 different numbers, but the 2 other guys were very, very close to each other on 2 different properties, and our guy was so far off. It wasn't even close. So
Yeah.
that was really frustrating.
Yeah.
But you told us that the appraisal process can be a little tricky, but you got a buyer and a seller that agree on a price, and so they'll try to come in and do what they can. But I don't know what the agenda was, if there was an agenda. But.
Yeah, it's definitely odd. I couldn't wrap my head around it either, because the other person that sold higher than us was a for sale by owner, so
Right.
that's automatically 3% off the top of them. So
Right,
it kind of blows my mind, and it's so subjective, because I've ran into appraisers before that does count that, where they understand it's a for sale by owner, and I also ran into these 2 appraisers that didn't care whatsoever that was a for sale by owner. And
Right.
That makes no sense. That's automatically 3% off the top,
Yep.
And as well, sometimes it just blew my mind.
Right. So, and then the other thing was that, talking about leveraging technology, we had to move the closing date 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And it was all DocuSign. It was electronic signatures. You would send a link, you would sign in, you would go to the document, you'd read the document, at your own time. You didn't have to drive anywhere and to somebody's office and sign paperwork. Or you come out to the house to have a sign. It was simple.
Yeah.
Click of the mouse and you were done.
Yeah.
I love that part of it.
Yeah, it was definitely cool. And yeah, that's also, you remember the last appraisal we had, we also had another issue pop up. We finally got the value we're looking for. It got delayed by bushes.
Right. That's where you went way above and beyond, because we weren't in town either during that time. And for the appraiser to say the bushes are touching the house was kind of crazy. But Tane, I appreciate what you did. He came to the house and probably cut back the bushes and took care of that problem.
Yeah, no problem at all, Brian. That's what I'm here for. I guess to trim bushes. But overall, that was really funny, because I was speaking to the lenders about it. I'm like, have you guys ever ran into this? And my lender, she's closed like 300 transactions last year, and she was like, yeah, I've literally never ran into this before. I'm like, she's like, I guess we just got to take care of it as soon as possible. I'm like, all right, I'm out there. I got my trimmers with me, and I just started going in there, just cutting everything and started bringing everything out. So for those of you that are possibly selling your home and you're working, more than likely if you're in Virginia, you'll be working with the VA loan. Cut bushes that are touching the house, just in case. So overall, Brian, what would you tell someone that's possibly considering, using my service and thinking about hiring me?
I would tell them, don't even think twice about it. Don't interview anybody else. You're not going to get a better response. You're not going to get a better approach to the whole process, and you'll be happy that you did.
Thank you, sir. What would you say the response was like? Because I know that's another thing I hear a lot is you usually don't hear back from agents for like another day or so sometimes. And I try to take pride in that, where I'm trying to get back to you as soon as possible. If I'm not available, I'll let you know. I'll give you a call back a couple hours later.
Right. And, you were very good about texting. If I had a question, you got back to me right away. early on, right away, you said you'd give me a Friday update. So you would call, and whether there was something going on or new to add, you called anyway. And you were, right on it from the very beginning all the way to the end. It got a little frustrating due to some things outside of your control or my control, but you kept us sane.
Yeah, we got to the finish line. That's all.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Anyways, Brian, again, I appreciate you coming on this. I truly appreciate it, and I wish you and Sally the best of luck over and out of Banks. All right.
And thanks for the gifts.
Yeah, no problem at all. How you guys? Did you guys try it yet?
No, it's well, we did open a bottle of wine.
Okay, okay.
So we tried that, and that was good.
Did you see the marbling on the steak yet?
I did.
Oh man, wait till you try that, because I had it for the first time not too long ago either, and I've always wanted to try. And it blew me away. It's
yeah.
So
we're gonna try that here soon.
Yeah, there's actual instructions on like how you cook it. Like it's a little different from regular steak, so follow the instructions on it.
Yep, I looked it up. I gotta look it up again so we don't destroy it.
Yeah, let me know how you guys like it, and if you run into any good bottles of wines through that selection, let me know as well. All right.
All right, Tane. Thanks.
Hey, no problem at all. Tell Sally I said hello, and I wish you guys the best of luck. All right, I'll be in touch.
All right, take care.
Take care, guys.